Hello guys, and welcome back to our tribe of many. Today I'm meal prepping. Solo's actually gonna help me too. I haven't meal prepped in a while, especially when I've done like all the meals for the week, and that's what I'm trying to do today. So I'm excited about it, especially the end product. Not necessarily the journey, but we're trying to get there. And I did get started last night. Sorry, doing too much at once. I have a lot of things to do today, and I only have a certain amount of time. I have a 3-week-old baby, so you know, that eats up time. But I soaked beans so that I could cook them today, and I already got them started this morning. So, I got some brown rice. I like to do brown rice in a pressure cooker. I usually do 20 minutes on high pressure. This one's been sitting here for a little bit. And I do 4 cups of brown rice to 6 cups of water. It lasts us for the week. That's a lot. It makes a lot of rice. Over here, I have 3 pressure cookers because I recently got one at Goodwill. What do I have here? Oh, white beans. And I probably left those too long. I cooked them 7 minutes and I had soaked them overnight. Lots of water is what I do in pressure cookers. And over here, I did pinto beans, and I did tons of water, like this much more water than beans, and still soaked it all up, so. They're not burned though, I see the water at the tops. They did good. Another thing I did this morning is I ordered a book about canning for beginners because I really want to can beans that I cook. It's a lot cheaper to buy beans this way. I think it's healthier because there's nothing added to it. Although I think beans just add salt, but anyway, it's good to know what you're putting in the beans. And it's also great for when you have your storage, you know, to store dry beans, emergency storage kind of thing. And I have a lot of beans and I don't mind cooking them at all, but I would love to learn how to can them because I usually freeze what I have extra and it takes up room in my freezer that I want back right now. I still would rather do a lot at a time, so I'll freeze this stuff unless I figure out how to can real fast, which I probably won't. So the next thing I want to do is get some bread going in my bread machines. I have the bread machines make the dough for me, and then I cook it in the oven, and then I'm going to work on the dinners. So let me get that in the machines and I'll get back to you. All right, I got my machines going. They're gonna do the hard work for me. So today I want to make lasagna. I've made lasagna forever, but I noticed I have lasagna noodles. And so last night, another thing I did, Solo was making dinner. He was making ndengu, which is mung beans. It's a Kenyan way to make mung beans. They call it ndengu, N-D-E-N-G-U. I had to think about that. It's so good though. We made it on the channel before. I crave it when I'm pregnant and just after I've had a baby. Always. I think it's probably full of iron because it's beans. Even our kids that have like tummy issues with beans, they don't have it with mung beans. So I like mung beans a lot. And Solo remembered a few years ago that women used to eat, or he remembered to tell me, that people make it for women in Kenya a lot after they've had a baby. So it's funny that I crave it when I'm pregnant and after I have a baby a lot. But it's really good. He's made it like every week the last few weeks because I keep asking him to, and it's a pretty easy meal. So while he was making that, I made marinara sauce on the stove next to him, and that was really easy. I made a ton of it. I think I'll be able to freeze this huge jar, and I'm gonna use these 2 for the lasagna, and that'll be good. I'll have another quick easy meal if I remember to pull that out of the freezer. So another reason I need to learn how to can, because I would love to make spaghetti sauce ahead of time now that we're making it this way instead of buying it pre-made. I thought this would give me a good head start on making the lasagna, and I haven't looked it up yet, but I used to make some low-carb lasagnas, so I'd like to make at least a little low-carb one to go on the sides. Another thing I remembered to do yesterday was pull out the meat I need for today. So I pulled out this big thing of chicken. Tori's doing some dishes here. And I also pulled out a bunch of ground beef that is out in my freezer outside. So I think I'm just gonna start with that lasagna. All right, I just realized I don't have mozzarella cheese. When Solo and I shopped, I was looking for fresh mozzarella cheese. I had it on my list, and the only kind they have there is the soft stuff, not like something I could grate. I don't think I've ever seen anything I could grate there. Does mozzarella cheese come in blocks? It has to, I think, because you can buy it grated. And how would you grate that fresh stuff? It'd be so watery and mushy. Anyway, I tried not to buy the shredded cheese, so I couldn't remember at the time why I needed it. So I'm like, let's just forget it. Suddenly occurred to me why I need mozzarella cheese, because lasagna. So I'm sending Judah to the store really quick. Ah, man. Thank goodness for team drivers. I did remember to pull out my cream cheese that I need. It was frozen, so you know, soaking the beans, cooking them, making the bread, pulling out the cream cheese, like what I've done so far, and just thawing the meat. What are you doing, like a science experiment? That's sometimes the extent of my meal prep for the week, and it does help a ton. So I had to prep for my meal prep day. But that's only because I'm trying to make the full meals today. It's helpful to have the full meals, and I know I'll appreciate it. Today's been a really slow day. We don't have a lot going on. We normally do a field trip on Wednesdays. It's cold, it's yucky, didn't know where to go, don't want to take the baby out. So here we are with nothing to do but cook food. We've been all reading books all day. It's been lovely.
Mom, can I have my popcorn?
Okay, I have 4 pounds of ground beef here. Cooking up. Oh, Ness is mad. And then I don't have ricotta cheese, so I'm gonna mix up about 24 ounces of, which is like 3 packages of cream cheese, 3 store-bought packages. This happens to be 2.5 pounds, which would be 5 packages, I think. So I'll use 3/5 of that, combined with 24 ounces of cottage cheese, so all of that, and 6 eggs. And I'm gonna put it in a food processor and use it in place of ricotta cheese. There it is, that'll work. I mixed my sauce in with the meat, and now I sprayed these pans with my olive oil there, and I'm going to start layering. Next up, I did my layer of faux ricotta cheese, and they're still the same, all of them, even though one's gonna be low carb. My meat sauce is heavy on the meat, but that is because I'm doing low carb. I thought that would be good. Have it heavier on the meat, and I wanted to save a whole jar for another meal. Here's where it gets different. I layered the lasagna noodles uncooked on top here, and I did a layer of spinach. It was frozen spinach that I ran under warm water in a colander and then tried to squeeze as much water out of it as I could. Then when Judah gets home with that mozzarella cheese, I'm gonna put that on top, but right now the baby is fussing and she needs me, so I'm gonna take a baby break. I think actually with the noodles, I should be doing this a different order, but should still work out, I don't know. Hi, cute girl, you were crying. Are you ready to eat?
Oh, Pizza's not funny.
She's smiling. Oh, she says, okay, Mom, I'm ready. Look, guys, I'm reading this book. I started it today. I've read way too much today. Oh my goodness, am I halfway through? No way. I think I put that bookmark in the wrong spot. No way I'm halfway through. I haven't had that much time. Oh yeah, I put the bookmark in the wrong spot. I saw that book was being made into a movie recently. I think the movie is next year, coming out next year. I just saw it recently. So I thought, well, I'm gonna reread the book, because I read it years and years ago. And now that I'm rereading it, I don't think I read it. I think I got the books confused. I haven't picked it up in a long time because I thought I'd already read it, but the book I remember reading that I thought had the same title, a totally different plot, so it's very good. I know probably 50% of you have read the book, or you know about it at least. But if you're looking for a good fiction book, it is Christian fiction. It's a good one though. You might want to check it out. Judah got home. He's layering the lasagnas for me. I'm stuck. It's a good kind of stuck. Judah's working for me while I'm stuck. He's getting the lasagnas in the oven though, so that's super helpful. Look at her stare at you. She's like, which one are you? Here's a hot tip for you. If you try to meal prep, try really hard to clean up as you go so you don't get so discouraged and never meal prep again. Okay, my bread did not rise the first time in the bread machines. Not sure why. Well, my only guess is that I usually use really fresh ground flour, but if I don't use all the flour, I put it in the freezer and we use it for cookies. So I use that freezer flour. I think that's why. But they are rising a second time, so I'm gonna leave them a little extra long so you can get a little higher. Anywho, the lasagnas came out. Judah was very generous with the mozzarella cheese and they look good. Look at this low carb one, that looks even better. Lots of mozzarella on the top, but it's gonna be amazing. And I ended up feeding the baby a long time, so I'm behind. That is okay though. Whatever I get done will be very helpful for our week. And of course I already have all the beans cooked, so that's super helpful. We took a break for dinner and it was a big hit. Like many of the kids said we should have it every week. I think Judah wants to try to make it. He didn't realize it was so easy. Now that he helped me, he said he's gonna try it, and he'll probably kick it up a notch with the spices. So the youth all went off to youth group, which is our 4 oldest kids. So Wednesday night has been kid night around here. Tonight we're doing popcorn in a movie, and Solo's kind of directing that traffic over there so that I can get...
I'm not directing anything.
You're not directing anything? So I can get the next thing done at least. Next I'm doing a white chicken chili. So I put a bunch of chicken thighs in the bottom. Usually I use chicken breasts, and I'm doubling whatever I normally do. This is where the white beans I made are gonna come in handy. I'm gonna dump those in here. I'll put this recipe down in the description box, so if you want it, you can try it out. Last thing it needs is the rest of the cream cheese from that package, actually, because it calls for 2 packages of cream cheese. I'm doubling the recipe. Okay, so let's put Seth to bed because he is one hot mess tonight. But I prepped stuff. He's going to make the beans for me. We're doing beans and rice one night, and he makes them his special way, and it is so good. So I did a huge onion for him, a whole head of garlic, and a whole bunch of cilantro, including the stems. And I already cooked the pinto beans for him, so it should be real easy. Although I did all those things for him, I still prefer him to cook it up because he will make it good. He'll make it really good. Okay, here he goes. I have kept up on all the dishes, but I didn't put them all away. They're just all drying. So many machines, too. Do you love cooking when it's all prepped for you?
Yes, it's the best part of cooking.
Yeah.
It's all done.
So he's frying up some the onion and garlic in coconut oil. Do you think that wooden spoon's big enough?
No, not enough. Not quite.
A viewer sent us that spoon. She has family that's Amish, and they make them.
Nice.
This is cool.
Very cool.
Looking good down in there. After the garlic and onions, the tomato. He did a large can of crushed tomatoes for just a little bit, and then the beans. Then the last step is the cilantro, right?
Well, I'll do salt. I'll season it.
Oh, season it. Okay. I used to make this one often earlier in our marriage, but they just taste so much better when he makes them. I don't know. But the cilantro makes it the Kenyan way. But it makes it really good. And we eat it with brown rice.
I think it's
So that part goes in after it was simmering. Is that enough cilantro? Do we need 2 more bunches?
about 5.
Yeah.
And some people just threw up because they hate cilantro that
Some
bad.
people really, for some people it tastes like soap. All right, let me give you the final tour then, guys. We've got our beans. We've got some leftover lasagna, quite a bit leftover lasagna actually. And this is brown rice to go with the beans. Whatever brown rice we don't eat, we will just freeze, and then we pull it out for a really quick meal, add it to taco meat or whatever. And then I have some white beans that are canned. They're ready to go in the freezer, so I learned how to can. So obviously I'm just freezing these, not canning them. Here's my bread. It actually ended up rising on the second rise when they were in the pan, so that worked out good. We've got some good bread. And then this is the leftover marinara sauce, sort of, pasta sauce. We'll use it with a quick meal of spaghetti. Maybe a night Solo and I go out to dinner or something, we can just have the kids use that with some ground meat and noodles. Solo's putting the other ones to bed. This was a meal I didn't get to. Actually, he was gonna cook it. It's sukuma wiki, which is greens cooked. It's a Kenyan dish, but he was gonna use some ground beef for that. And it's 4 pounds of ground beef because he was going to double it. We're gonna eat it Saturday night and then Sunday after church as well. He didn't have time. I didn't have time. Anyway, the meat's thawed and we'll eat it in a couple days. It's a quick meal, so it'll be fine. The other thing I wanted to do was salads, and I didn't get that far. I wanted to just prep my own salads, like 5 of them for the next 5 or 6 days. Didn't get that done, but I could get that done tomorrow. Honestly, I thought that I hadn't made much progress. I had a very unproductive meal prep day. But when I look at all that we've done, it's not unproductive at all. I think actually I did pretty good. Definitely will help. Solo also thawed a large brisket he is wanting from our cow that he's wanting to cook up. So he'll be doing that in the next week as well. So we've got a lot of easy meals. I think I'm done cooking for a week. Next week I'm gonna come back. I'm getting out my funnel for my jars. I'm gonna put those beans, I think, in a couple of these large jars that I have just for storage. This funnel is so helpful for filling jars. Next week, I'm gonna try to meal prep again, and we have company coming. I think last year or the year before, we had a pastor friend of ours come from Kenya, Pastor John Magangi. He stayed with us, and he is vegan, and he's coming back again next week. So I'm excited to have him. He's a good friend of ours. I don't think he's actually staying here. Yeah, he's coming. Yeah. And his family was gonna come with him this time, but they weren't able to at the last minute. So disappointed about that, but he's coming, and he will definitely be eating some meals with us. Like, I don't know, maybe up to 5. So please send your best vegan ideas to me. Bonus points if they don't involve buying special ingredients like vegan butter or vegan cheese. I know I could make that stuff, but remember I have a 4-week-old by then. To me, the easiest would be these Kenyan meals that we make without meat, because they're made vegan all the time. However, I'm sure his Kenyan wife cooks them a lot better than we would anyway, so I would love to just try something different to give him. Would love to see some of your ideas that we could try with him, especially food we might already have. Okay, I think that's it. By the way, when we serve those beans and rice to the kids, speaking of vegan or not being vegan, we usually put sour cream on top. The kids love it that way, so if you've never tried that with beans and rice. I don't know why I am into beans lately, but we've definitely done a lot of beans for this week. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.